Hey lads, Fish here. So, I've been pretty addicted to pressure lately. If any of you don't know what it is, basically imagine SCP but underwater. It's more complicated than that, and I know the pressure fans are probably frothing at the mouth where they tear me apart for describing it like that. But you can look into it yourselves if you want to know more. But I ain't wasting any more of your time. You saw the title. You know what we're discussing. This guy. This fucking guy. Oh yeah, also, by the way, spoilers for Pressure, if you haven't played it, like, play it! It's like really cool and stuff. So in the latest update, they added the ability to rescue Painter, which is actually just fucking punching a hole through the guy. I've had some people try to tell me we took his computer chip or something, but like, mate, he's dead. We fucking Mike Tyson'd his ass. He is not coming back. And the sexy fish man isn't gonna rip my heart out because I saved his adopted son, is he? I didn't think so. But what I'm here to talk about is whether or not Painter deserves this. Now, I know I might sound a little biased, because I personally hate the guy. I mean, this is the footage of me when I first got to kill him. Fuck you. But, I'm going to be looking at this as objectively as possible to give the final verdict. So the way we're going to do this is pretty simple. I'm going to list some reasons for why Painter deserves to be pounded, and for reasons why he shouldn't be. And then we'll do a little conclusion at the end. Simple, right? Good, then let's get into it. 1. He is actively trying to murder us. So, probably starting off with the biggest and most obvious point, Painter is actively trying to kill us throughout the events of the game, activating turrets, tricking you with fake meat doors, and forcing you into a staring contest with the killer fish from San Diego, all in an attempt to end your life, which, to put it bluntly, is pretty fucking uncool, dude. This all in all is probably my main reason for putting a hole through him the first time I saw him, because I'd argue it's self-defense. If you don't kill Painter, he'll continue trying to turn you into a tombstone for the rest of the run, so it seems pretty logical to shut him down. 2. He's kind of a knob. Okay, so just to preface, there is a reason he's a bit of a knob, but like, still kind of is. So, while doing all the previous actions I described in an attempt to kill you, he commonly revels at it, taunting you and telling you basically just to give up and die, which he does a lot.
Continues to amaze me. Seriously, how are you this stupid?
Like, there's a reason I took so much joy when I first got to murder him. Maybe there's some other reasons why, but, you know, we won't go into those. Those are for my therapist. And sure, sometimes he shows sympathy for what he does, mainly whether he kills you with the fake doors, where he'll be like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, no, mate, I'm not. A flesh monster just fucked me 10 days from Sunday. And even when you're in their room, there's still a dick. Like, I was leaving one time and he goes,
And stay out!
and I generally had to hold myself back from fucking destroying him. Like, mate, just be nice. For once. Now, there's an argument to be made you shouldn't kill someone just because they're mean to you. And do you know what I say to that? 3. We're just following orders. So, I know Daddy Sebastian doesn't like this excuse, but honestly, with the context of what Urban Shade usually does to disobedient prisoners, I'd probably do the exact same thing in the Expendables position. When you first discover Painter's room, HQ tells you to disable him. I don't have footage of this because I've played through this game more times than I've gone outside in the past month. But usually, if you disobey an order from Urban Shade, they make you cosplay a water balloon. And now I'm thinking about it. I don't know why you don't get popped for not destroying Painter. I guess it's not essential to the mission directive, but like, they told you to do it, and you didn't. I think Urban Shade are petty enough to blow your head off over that. So, removing all emotional parts from this, logically speaking in the situation you're in, killing Painter is probably the best choice, because for all you know, if you disobey, you're done. Now, on to 1. Painter's psychological issues. So I'm going to put my lore glasses on for a moment here. Buckle in. So Painter was originally used by Urban Shade to mine roblox. Yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. They were basically on a 24/7 shift of crypto mining, which Urban Shade made bank off of. Due to this monotony, Painter frequently tried to fire themselves to escape it, which ended up messing up their personality drives, which leads to them being fairly unstable. Alright, lore glasses off. So basically, Painter had some pretty shitty mental stuff going on, which, believe me, I get. So there's an argument to be made that Painter can't be fully held accountable for their actions due to this. They're all sorts of scrambled and easily flip-flop between doing things with no remorse and spiraling over the people they've killed. This also kind of makes them being a bit of a knob more understandable. I think they did used to be genuinely good-hearted, but were just broken through their shitty situation. And it really is an impossible situation they found themselves in. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing the same thing over and over and over again constantly when I have passion to do something else. Like, literally, if I'm doing a project of any kind, there's no way of forcing myself to do anything else. It sounds like straight torture. So, I do feel for the guy. 2. Painter's just following orders. So, it's pretty obvious through Painter's dialogue that Sebastian is the one pulling the strings and everything. He basically told Painter that delayed crystal gathering equals out. which, yeah, is a pretty good deal given the circumstances. And I know if I was stuck in a secure facility for years against my will, I'd probably do anything to get out. So if you look at it through this lens, you could probably put all your frustrations with Painter onto Sebastian, as he's the one telling Painter to fuck with you. This is still a bit iffy about who you'd actually blame, but we'll get onto that in the conclusion. Speaking of which, yes, I know 4 had 3 and against only had 2, but trust me, the 2 in against were pretty big, alright? So just taking these points into account, do I think Painter deserves to have a hole punch through him? No. But, do I think logically you should punch a hole through them? Yes. Let me explain. So first off, as understandable as Painter's motivations are, every argument that can be used for them can also be used for us. We're also just trying to survive and get back to our lives. Now don't get me wrong, the Expendables in much different circumstances, and they do deserve to be in this situation, whereas Painter doesn't really. But in that situation, you're probably thinking a bit selfishly, which is understandable. In a life or death situation, you're always going to be looking out for number one. We also have to accept that just because Painter has mental problems, it doesn't negate all the suffering they've caused. Like, they still have murdered a significant amount of people in their pursuit for freedom. Now, this is a whole moral conundrum of, did the Urban Shade employees deserve it? Is it actually Urban Shade's fault for trapping Painter and Sebastian down here in the first place? Should the blame be put on Sebastian because he's telling Painter to do all these horrible things? So, it's really person to person whether you think the terrible things Painter's done are justified. But to play devil's advocate, it is also very surprising how much a person is willing to do if they believe someone else will take the blame for it. If you want proof of this, you can take a look at the Milgram experiment, where people basically shocked someone to death because they thought a person of authority would take the blame for it. And that really begs the question, who do you blame? The person who prompted the action or the person doing said action? It's a fun moral question, but one I sadly can't really answer for you. And also for the record, someone being a dickhead is not a reason to murder them apparently, and you can't really blame them for being a bit unstable, it's half their brain's dysfunctional. So I don't think that's really a factor to whether they deserve it or not. So, all in all, no, I don't think Painter deserves to die for their actions. It really was a push comes to shove situation, and it's obvious they deep down don't want to hurt people. And although they still do hurt people, I just can't say I wouldn't do the exact same thing in that situation. So I don't think I can fully say in good faith they deserve to die for it. But despite all of that, I still think killing Painter is the right move logically for the Expendable. Obviously this isn't a case in a meta sense, because killing Painter will always lead to a bad ending. But if we bar that, Painter is an active threat to you, Urban Shade has told you to deactivate Painter, and from your perspective they are really enjoying the whole trying to murder you thing. So yeah, I'd say killing them is pretty logical. Now, saying killing someone's logical is pretty grim, I know, but honestly it's an impossible situation, and people do impossible things in those kind of scenarios. And I think that's basically all I have to say. If you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it somewhat, so why not subscribe or something? And also like if you want to see more non-SCPSL commentary videos in the future. Thinking of branching out more into other things, so I'd love to hear what you lot think. Anyway, that's all for me. Goodbye for now.